Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at Bitcoin Cash. A lot of you have been requesting another video on Bitcoin Cash. I usually do updates once a week, every coin, just so that I can have enough time to update all the projects that we're targeting on the channel. But since a lot of you have been asking for the update, I'm going to give you guys what you want. So yeah, this is Bitcoin Cash. We are on the weekly chart on TradingView. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor by any means. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. Okay, with that being said, this is the weekly chart. What I do like about the weekly chart is we're in some sort of horizontal over here. So this is not a horizontal triangle by any means. We do have this multi-month support trend line that we have had since March of last year when we had that Corona dump, I think, right? So this is March 9th, 2020. Then we had a lot of touches over here during the fall of 2020. And now we came back here in during the summer of this year and now in September. And potentially what we can do is come back into this trend line in October over here or November 1st, and we can have a bounce off of this trend line. So this would be something like $505 to 550 to no 520, I mean, yeah. So anywhere from $500 to $520 is potentially where we can land on this trend line. So look for that trend line to hold as support in the future. Obviously, if we lose it, we're losing structural support. We're losing a very important support level. And then we're going to have to look for some swing lows to land on, or even some swing highs. So the EMAs, this is the weekly chart. What are the EMAs doing? So the EMAs are in a very good place to start a parabolic move towards the upside, towards the end of the year, towards our targets. And right now we are in between the EMAs. We barely got above the 20 EMA, and now we got set right back. We had a bounce off the weekly 55 EMA, which is great. So you could potentially have some buy orders at the weekly 55 EMA right now. That is sitting at $550. And obviously, like I mentioned before, the trend line over here. So we're consolidating right now. And as you can see, we're tightening up in this range on the weekly chart, and we don't want to fall out of this one, all right? Because on the daily chart, we have fallen out of a horizontal, but here, if you start falling down, that doesn't look too great because you've been suppressed and rejected by this area 3 times by that time, and you're going to keep on going down, and we don't want that to happen. We want to have an uptrend. So yeah, look for us breaking this trend line. Now what you can also look for is, if you look, I apologize, why doesn't the RSI show up? There we go. So as you can see here on the RSI, we have broken a major weekly resistance on the RSI. As you can see just here, we broke above it. And potentially what we're looking to do right now is to come back and backtest as support and then start moving, because that's what the RSI sometimes does. It breaks out, comes back for support. There we go. That's your confirmation of the uptrend. So look for the RSI, because you can see that we were rejected here in April, in August, and right now we broke through in October. So this is looking bullish on the RSI. This is kind of your precursor to this uptrend that we might get. So yeah, look for this horizontal to play out. Obviously, if we start falling back down, you want to be looking for support levels. How do you get those support levels? Well, first of all, you do have a bottom over here. So that's $470. We do have a bottom below that, and that is, let me get another trend line, and that is somewhere around $398. So you do have these 2 bottoms over here, and this first bottom that I gave you is actually a swing high over here that we got in February of last year. So yeah, I don't know if we're gonna break down. Honestly, I cannot see into the future, but I do know that the markets are gonna be very bullish in the next couple of months, and that means that even Bitcoin Cash is gonna have a move towards the upside. So what can potentially happen? All right, this is a hypothetical. So we can come back down if Bitcoin has another pullback to $55,000. Centralized exchanges get their liquidation cascade, right? They get their money, and we have a little dip on Bitcoin Cash with that. Maybe we can have even a wick to this swing low, right? A strong wick down. People are going to buy it up and we're going to end up in the horizontal still, right? So that's something that can happen. But I wouldn't necessarily count on it, right? And now would be a very nice time to start dollar cost averaging because you're still below the 20 EMA on the weekly chart. You can see over here how overextended you were in April on the weekly chart. So that was screaming a pullback. That was screaming for a pullback. And now you can see that you're just starting to get up there. And we're still bullish, right? We're making higher highs on the weekly chart. We're making higher lows. So it's looking very bullish on the weekly chart. Okay, now jumping into the daily chart, I do have a fib set up over here from the swing high in September to the swing low in September as well. And we do have the golden ratio over here sitting at $657. That is exactly where we went over here. I did give you these resistance levels a couple of videos ago. And now we broke down from this ascending triangle, right? And I did give you a target of $540 and that was met perfectly. So from there, you're up 8% already if you bought in. Well, yeah, basically the 0.236 on this fib retracement. But on the daily chart, we're making higher highs, which is good. Now, what we don't want to see necessarily is this bearish cross play out on the daily chart, right? That wouldn't be the best thing ever. That would be a confirmation of a downtrend, right? And we may come back down and bottom out over here at $470, create that double bottom pattern. But I wouldn't want to see that, right? That would be too risky, and we would have even more, there would be even more possibility that we may come back down even lower. So that's not necessarily something that I'm looking for. What can end up happening is, as you can see, we're having these strong wicks to the upside. So people are constantly selling. We are getting the bounce off the 55 EMA. So we're hitting our head on the 55 EMA, and that is bearish in itself because we can't get through the resistance and we're going to get pushed back down. And you can dollar cost average your way while you get pushed back down, right? I would be, if I want to get into a project and I see a bearish cross on it, that would be actually good for me because the price that would actually give you, a precursor to a little downtrend, and that would mean that you can dollar cost average your way into the project at cheaper prices, and that's all I really care for, right? Buying in low. So I don't think you should be worried too much, right? Just dollar cost average. It's going to be fine. Anyway, we're getting a nice couple of months later. I'm not a financial advisor by any means, but I'm not worried whatsoever about the market. So we had this ascending triangle. We broke down out of it. What do we do now is we kind of adjust this ascending triangle, right? So we had another low over here. So effectively, what you can do is just, okay, there we go. You can just adjust that ascending triangle. We can remove this support line, right? And we can extend this all the way to this side. So I'm just gonna change the color of this trend line to yellow, right? So this is something that you can do. This is still considered an ascending triangle. Why? Because you have two touches of the resistance above, right? And you have already two touches on the support below, and you're still making higher lows, right? So that was just a little tighter ascending triangle. Now we are in a larger ascending triangle. So it could still play out, right? And let's get the targets out of the way. So this is going to be your breakout target whenever you start breaking out. And that pretty much takes you to our previous target, right? At $850. We're going to move that down a bit. That's going to be a kind of a new target, all right? And if you start breaking down, let's say you break down somewhere over here. Let's see where that puts us. That is putting us at $390. And I don't know if we're going to go that low, right? If we start going that low and we start losing this multi-month support trend line over here, the white one, then that could be your potential bear market for Bitcoin Cash. But I don't know what's going to happen. I can't stress that out enough, guys. But yeah, like I said, dollar cost average, I did give you this nice resistance where you could sell, right? And if you sold over here, you could have waited for a little pullback and you could have cut in, almost 20% cheaper if you sold at this resistance. Now, what do I see happening is we can actually start bouncing off this support, right? And until we get to the apex, we're going to consolidate, and then we're going to have a breakout. So look for the 0.786 at $719 to be your next resistance level, right? But before that, we all obviously need to break through the golden ratio at $657.5. Because if we break through it and get rejected straight back down, you know, we're not doing ourselves any good. We need to have enough volume to break through, backtest as support, then you're set to take out this previous swing high in September, and then you're looking at $1,121, right? But if you don't do that, you know, it's all about breaking this golden ratio, right? This is the most important fib level of all the levels on the retracement. So look to break that. We're holding the 0.382 at the minute. Look for the 0.5 to have a little bit of resistance, but necessarily I wouldn't be selling any tokens at the minute. I would be just dollar cost averaging and potentially have some sell orders at the 0.786, and then you can potentially buy back in once you get rejected, buy back in at the golden ratio, right? That's something that can happen. But yeah, obviously, let's jump into the daily RSI as well. So I did give you this resistance trend line on the daily. We got rejected last time I made the video, right? We're below. This is a new support trend line. This green one is a multi-month support trend line on the RSI. So if you start coming back down with a pullback, look for a bounce off of this trend line. May happen, may not happen, but it's important that you have it on your chart. As you can see, we lost this white trend line. And this white trend line is kind of important because, as you can see, we've been testing it as resistance a couple of times before. We broke out, broke down, lost it, and we kind of don't have that back test of support. So if you start breaking out, and you have started breaking out, you want to have that back test of support, and then you're still gonna get squeezed, right, by this resistance trend line, by the pink one, right? And what that will essentially do is it will tighten up the RSI, and when you're gonna have the breakout, when you're gonna break out of here, that will be your indicator that you've started the parabolic rise, right? But that's just me, you know, I'm just some dude on the internet trying to help you guys. That's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, check out the Telegram chat, check out the Discord server. A lot of TAs going on in there. I'm going to be starting a Patreon very, very soon, guys. I'm very excited for that. I'm gonna be bringing a lot more educative content for all the patrons. Let me know if there is anything you want me to specifically do as well, any other video suggestions. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.